Soundbars, they used to be the lazy option, a shortcut for people who didn't want to deal with the hassle of receivers, speaker cables, and other complicated home theater headaches. At least that's what audiophiles would say. Yeah, you can still find them in the forums today yelling that the only way to go is all out. But for most of us, that's old news. In 2025, soundbars are half the home theater market. Half. That's a $10 billion industry that's still growing every single year. So while it may come as a surprise that one of the ways that Bang & Olufsen is celebrating their 100th anniversary is with the announcement of a new soundbar, but to me, it makes perfect sense. The Premier soundbar sits right between the bigger, badder theater and the more affordable BioSound stage. When it comes to soundbars, the design is pretty bold, perhaps even an acquired taste. Now, it's smaller than most typical soundbars, especially when you consider the sound it's capable of producing. It's a little over 36 inches or 932 millimeters wide. By comparison, the Samsung Q990D is a full foot larger. It comes in a few different looks: classic, natural aluminum, gold tone, or black anthracite. What it doesn't come with is a cover. That's extra. And that's an odd choice, but one B&O seems confident in, as they prefer leaving the drivers exposed. And while selling a speaker without a grill or a cover may be commonplace-ish in the hi-fi world, this is the first time I've seen it done with a soundbar. As far as cover options go, you can select from an intricate hand-carved wood design in two finishes, oak and dark oak, or a more traditional fabric in a gray melange. Now, depending on your selection, adding a cover increases the Premier's cost anywhere between $325 for the fabric cover to $1,200 for one of the wood options. When you power up the bar, the Premier puts on a little show like it's waking up for a performance. A light transforms into the bar's volume indicator, traveling along the bar as you increase the volume, turning what's usually a pretty boring interaction into, a little bit of theater. It's subtle, it's elegant, but it is pure B&O. And setup, it couldn't be easier. The bar ships with everything you need for either a tabletop, like you're seeing here, or wall-mounted installation. Cables, mounts, hardware comes neatly packed right in the box. Nothing, quote, sold separately or promised updates coming later kind of nonsense. No, this cake is fully baked. The Premier is easy enough to set up yourself, and no doubt is one of the reasons why it's sold online. I installed our sample just below the Hisense 116U7, connected it to the TV's ARC-E-ARC HDMI port using one of the high-speed cables that I've hidden behind our wall. Now, if this is your first Bang & Olufsen product, the process is super simple. The B&O app will guide you through the setup, which takes about 2 minutes start to finish, including one-touch automatic room equalization. Now, if you're planning to use the Premier as part of a larger B&O setup, there will be some additional steps to the setup process. Yes, this means you can add other B&O speakers to the Premier as long as they're built on the brand's Mozart platform. So think the 8s, the Balance, the A9, etc. And you can mix and match up to 4 additional speakers to build your very own custom surround experience. And short of pairing it with something upmarket, like say the Biolab 90s or 50s, maybe even the classic 18s, this thing gives you way more flexibility than pretty much any other soundbar out there. As a standalone soundbar, the Premier is expensive. At a base price of $5,800, I know what you're wondering, is it really worth it? Especially when you can pick up a Samsung for like $1,000. And I hear you. Here's what I'll say. Most soundbars try to simulate the effect of having multiple speakers around the room. They follow a very familiar recipe. 3 main channels up front, a subwoofer, and a few upward or side-firing drivers to bounce sound off of walls and ceilings. There's also a new quote version released every year, leaving you to wonder if you should be upgrading every time they move to the next letter of the alphabet. Well, the Premier can do all of those things, but that's not all it can do. As you start to add other Bang & Olufsen speakers, the Premier doesn't just emulate surround sound. It becomes the heart of a fully modular system, leaving me to believe that the Premier isn't just B&O's latest soundbar for this year, but one that you would expect to be around for the long haul. So with the price discussion out of the way, let's focus on the sound of the Premiere by itself using only the factory settings. I'm talking take it out of the box, plug it in, hit play. It's impressive and very user-friendly. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of deciding which profile to use because the Premiere will automatically select the appropriate EQ profile depending on the content you feed it. So if you're watching a movie, the bar will engage the movie sound profile. If you later choose to listen to music, it will sense the music content and switch over to the music profile. There are also speech and night profiles that can be hand-selected by the user. What B&O doesn't do is limit how you want to listen. You can create your own profiles to suit your way of listening because this bar gives you control over virtually every aspect of its sound. You really can make the Bang & Olufsen sound however you want. That's something the competition doesn't typically offer. If you prefer your custom sound profile or any of the ones B&O provides, you can make any one of them the default. I found myself using the movie profile for the majority of my listening. This profile had the most full range sound and the best blend of imaging and spaciousness no matter what I was watching or listening to. When it comes to room correction, B&O's one-touch EQ mainly addresses low frequencies. I'd say the results before and after are subtle, not transformative. You may actually prefer to leave the room compensation setting off to achieve more bass. Now, if you're coming from a Sennheiser Ambio or even a Bose Smart Ultra, the Premiere may seem a little less expansive at first. I say may because Christy thinks I'm crazy to even suggest this. At any rate, those bars tend to push sound more aggressively into the corners of a room to give you that wall of sound wow factor, sometimes in a way that is unnatural or distracting. If you saw our Bose review, I talked about how the Smart Ultra could place sounds in areas that didn't always fit with what was playing on screen. The Premiere definitely does a better job at sounding more realistic spatially. What really caught me off guard, though it probably shouldn't have, was the Premiere's tonality. Without a dedicated subwoofer, most soundbars can sound thin or lean or, cool. Not this one. Across nearly all of its presets, minus the dialogue mode, which intentionally cuts bass and lifts the mid-range to enhance speech, the Premiere plays down to around 30 Hz. That's seriously impressive and right up there with Sennheiser's much larger Ambio. Most soundbars, they start to fall apart when they try to go below 40 Hz. So while the Premiere isn't technically full range, it's got more than enough low-end punch to feel cinematic. Heck, I'd rather stay home and watch a movie on the Premiere than deal with going to an actual movie theater. That extra low-end reach gives the Premiere a sense of weight and scale that you just don't often get from a standalone soundbar. It creates the illusion of a much larger speaker, especially when reproducing bass-heavy instruments or mid-range rich content like vocals, whether in music or film. And you pair that with the Premiere's smooth, controlled top end, there is a gentle roll-off in the treble with just a touch of extra sparkle above 5 kHz, and you get a really balanced sound from top to bottom. Detailed, punchy, and consistent, no matter how loud or soft you play it. When playing anything in stereo, the tone is unmistakably B&O. Smooth, balanced, and refined, though it does lose a little bit of spaciousness compared to, say, a proper pair of speakers. It's better than most standalone bars, though, and way better than all-in-one systems like Cambridge Audio's Evo 1. Still, it doesn't quite match the stereo imaging that you're going to get from something like a pair of Biolab 8s or Biosound balances. When it comes to upmixing, Bang & Olufsen's upmixer does a respectable job of adding scale and spaciousness to stereo tracks. But once the signal switches to multi-channel or Dolby Atmos, the Premiere is untouchable. I was blown away, pun intended, watching Michael Mann's Collateral through just the bar. The gunfight scenes were nuts. The scale and dynamics of the bar, not to mention how three-dimensional it sounded, really made me feel like I should be dodging bullets. To be clear, I'm not suggesting that for less than half the cost of a pair of Biolab 28s, the Premiere can match them blow for blow or frequency for frequency. But for a relatively compact soundbar, it delivers a genuinely big, weighty, and impactful sound, one so convincing that with the right material and room, guests may find themselves looking for hidden speakers. But if you've got the budget or the patience to plan, adding other Bang & Olufsen speakers takes the Premier to a whole other level. An ideal match is actually a pair of Biolab 8s. I put ours in the back corners of our room, and with the natural room boost you get from a corner placement, the system's automatic bass management and processing kick in and do the rest, redistributing the low end across every driver for tighter, more even bass throughout the room. And since Bang & Olufsen doesn't limit the 8s to rear channel duties, adding them to the Premier will also help fill in the front and sides of the soundstage, creating an even more enveloping, truly cinematic sound field, elevating the Premier to a different tier altogether and give customers a clear, scalable path for building out their Bang & Olufsen home theater experience. I mean, just put on the final season of Stranger Things and tell me you're not impressed by this bar. But if you want to know my quote, good, better, best configurations using the Premier as central command, here's what I'd do. The good. The Premier with a pair of Biolab 8s. For most rooms and for anyone who wants a genuine home theater experience without surrendering space or sanity to complicated surround systems, this setup, honestly, is great. It's clean, compact, and will put other soundbar systems to shame and give traditional home theaters a real run for their money. Now, better would be to add a second pair of Biolab 8s or swap them out for 4 BioSound balances for an even richer, more enveloping presentation. But the dream setup? Premier up front in center position, Biolab 28s as your left and right mains, and Biolab 8s in the rear. That combination would be endgame. So what about using it with the 50s? You can't. And trust me, I'm probably more bummed about it than you are, but the 50s cannot be used with the Premier. And same goes for the 90s. Remember, this bar only works with Bang & Olufsen speakers built on the Mozart platform, so the 50s and the 90s, they're SOL. If you want a similar experience, you have to go up to the theater. Could that change in time? It's maybe possible. I don't know. I certainly don't have any inside trade secrets to share. Regardless, I want to stress that even on its own, the Premier is a fantastic, easy-to-use surround sound alternative, one that for most people will exceed expectations. But the best thing about the Premier, I listened more. I just don't know what it is about Bang & Olufsen products, but when they're in the house, they're always on, always playing. And I can't say that about anything else. Since it's been here, our day has started and ended with it, easily becoming a seamless part of our whole home Bang & Olufsen system. When you allow the bar to be the brain of a whole home B&O system, the options seemingly are endless, and this is more than just a soundbar. It becomes a very powerful processor, and this is something I plan to address in more detail in an upcoming video. Is Premier the right home theater solution for you? Well, if you're the type of enthusiast chasing a 9 to 16 channel separate system with big black boxes everywhere, thank you for watching, but this isn't going to be your mountain to climb. Your journey leads to a different summit, and I think that's fair. While we're on the topic of traditional home theater setups, no, the Premier does not have a matching or compatible B&O subwoofer. Bang & Olufsen does make a sub, but it isn't built on the Mozart platform, and therefore it won't connect. For some people, this will be a drawback. I know Christy hammered B&O on our call, advocating, if you can believe it, for you diehard home theater bros to be given a subwoofer because she knows you. And she may be right. It's true, the Premier can't reach down to 20 hertz on its own. So if you want more low-end impact, you need to pair it with additional B&O speakers, like the BioSound Balance or 8s, or go all out with the 28s. And yeah, that is an added expense, but the payoff is very real. B&O's argument against offering a dedicated sub was that true image processing distributes bass evenly across all connected speakers, creating deeper, smoother, and more consistent low frequencies no matter where you sit. And after experiencing this for myself, I do see their point, but I also get it. If you're locked into traditional 5.1 or 7.2.4 layouts, this may not be for you. For everyone else, there are still a few practical considerations that may impact your purchasing decision. If your TV is sitting on top of a cabinet, the Premier is probably not going to fit underneath your TV the way a typical soundbar will. It's just too tall for that. And no, you cannot place this bar on its back with the drivers firing up towards your ceiling. Now, there is a workaround though. A company called STB Bracket sells a third-party solution that will allow the Premier to fit below your TV on a cabinet. Now, if your TV is mounted on your wall like ours is, you're covered. Everything you need comes in the box. And no, you can't hide the Premier inside a cabinet or a console. Doing that would completely compromise its Dolby Atmos performance. Compared to other soundbars on the market, if budget allows, I'd take the Premier over anything else, even if my journey with it wouldn't be as immediate or as turnkey as buying an all-inclusive Sony Theater Quad or Sonos Ultimate system. The long game is what matters here. I think thinking ahead, buying right, and buying once with the Premier is going to pay off, but I fully understand that that doesn't come cheap. Now, compared to B&O's other soundbars, this is not a theater killer. It cannot match the flexibility or sound of that bar, so please set your expectations accordingly. In some ways, it gets close, and in terms of day-to-day use, it's probably enough for most people. But if a pair of 50s is on your bucket list, unfortunately, the Premier will not be part of that system. As for the aging yet still very lovable Biosound stage, the stage is entirely outmatched. The new B&O bar is better in every possible way. The stage is still a great little bar, but if you have a larger room or you have plans to expand your system, the Premier is your answer. If the Premier isn't in your budget, the most cost-effective all-in-one soundbar on the market is still the Sennheiser Ambio. It'll do nearly everything the Premier can when used on its own, and in larger rooms, it may feel a touch more immersive at times. That said, the Ambio is a log of a speaker. It's big, it's heavy, and unapologetically built for performance above all else. Oh, and it runs hot too, so make sure you leave plenty of room for it to breathe. Here's why I wouldn't buy the Ambio today. It's been a while since the Ambio has seen a real update, much less a replacement. Sure, Sennheiser has come out with smaller versions, but every press release that I get from that brand tells me their focus is on wearables, which raises questions about the brand's longevity in the soundbar space. If you're after the closest facsimile of the Bang & Olufsen experience on a budget, that honor goes to Sonos, specifically the Ultimate Immersive Set featuring the Arc Ultra soundbar, 2 Era 300s, and a Sub Gen 4, which retails for just under $3,000, but is often found on sale for less. When playing Atmos tracks, the Sonos can feel as immersive as a traditional home theater alternative. But if you want a pared down solution, in other words, just a single bar, the Premier is hands down better than the Arc Ultra by itself. And once you start adding other B&O speakers, the performance gap between these two products, it's a moat. Given the popularity of Bang & Olufsen's more affordable products, the success of their Mozart platform, and their steady expansion into the home theater and whole home audio worlds, the Premier debut makes perfect sense. It's not only an ideal gateway product for first-time B&O customers, but also a really smart jumping-off point for anyone looking to build a larger system over time. If you have no plans to spend 6 figures or more on your home audio setup, I can't think of a better starting point than the Premier. I think you're going to be shocked at how good it is. I know I was. So there you have it. That is my take on the brand new Bang & Olufsen Premier. What did you guys think? What did you guys think? I want to know. I'm so curious. There is a lot to tackle here, and like I alluded to in the video, I'm actually going to go more in depth with just all of the crazy things B&O soundbars can do as the centerpiece of your stereo and even home theater system. So stay tuned for that. But for now, let's get the conversation going on the Premier. In the meantime, remember, the only person who has to like the sound of your system is you. So happy listening, everybody. Thank you so very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and see you on the next video.